Hello and welcome to the As You Are podcast. I am your host, Oliver, and I am here to help you carve a little space in the universe for yourself because you deserve to be here. We all deserve validation and to feel like we belong because guess what? This universe is ours. Today I am here to talk about what I've learned in my 20s because I've been alive for nearly 3 decades. Almost. My 29th birthday is right around the corner, and I feel like being 30 is right there. And you know what? I'm so glad because I've been here for 3 decades and I've actually learned something. Isn't that great? I know, I actually learned something. I'm so glad. I am relieved because life is hard, and you know what? I feel like I have enough to share from my own experiences. So I'm going to start by rapid firing some things that I've learned and maybe add on little tidbits of what I've learned about those things. So the first one I'm going to talk about is taking it day by day. Anxiety is a beast, and if you've had it before, you understand how hard it is to navigate every single day with anxiety. And it's not just the everyday, it's the projected anxiety for the future as well, of what do I need to do tomorrow? What is the rest of my life going to look like? And if you haven't felt that way, well, I'm jealous. But personally, I have had to tell myself day by day, and this isn't just for daily stressors, this is also for life goals, because I like to have goals, I like to be motivated, and while it's fun to imagine my future in those what could I be in 6 to 10 years? What is my outcome going to look like? It also causes that anxiety of, well, I'm not there yet, and I don't know how I'm going to climb this mountain. But I have to remind myself that it's day by day, inch by inch, little by little. So that applies to our jobs, our just eating, drinking, self-care, all those little things, day by day, folks, okay? Don't spend your time in the past or the future. Try to spend it today. What can you do today to feel good about yourself and what you need to accomplish to feel like you are a successful person? So day by day. Okay, now that we've talked about taking it day by day, I am going to counter that and say how important it is to have goals because while I don't want people to live in the future, living in that mental image just isn't reality. However, it's good to have a good trajectory on where you want your life to go. So that means setting little goals for yourself as well as big goals. And it also includes having serious goals. Where do you envision yourself in your career, family life, anything like that. And also silly goals. Now, I'm not going to define silly goals for other people. I'm just going to say for myself, there is a particular video game that I enjoy playing, and I have a community that I play with, and I suck. I suck so bad. So my silly goal for that is to actually learn how to play better because I'm terrible. So that's my silly goal. For serious goals, I am an author, so I like to write novels, and my goal would be that it's someday at least somewhat of a full-time career for myself. If not, I just want to improve my craft because while I have learned in the last 4 years how to write better, there's so much room for improvement. So I'm hoping to learn from there. But I digress. My point is, it is so important to have goals, to feel like there's something that we are working towards, because as humans, that is how we continue to move forward and stay motivated in life. Another thing that I have learned in my 20s, societal roles and expectations are strong, and defying them is so difficult. I have not mentioned before, but I have 2 small children, and I have 1 boy and 1 girl. And let me tell you, it is heavy in our culture what a boy and a girl will do. And it is wild because they both come out just, little beings. And here we are telling them what they can and cannot do based on their gender, their assigned gender at birth. Isn't that wild? So even for myself, I've had to work very hard to be like, they can both paint their nails. They can both wear dresses. They can both talk about gaining muscles and being buff. Because let me tell you, my daughter is currently obsessed with gaining muscle. So anyway, the fact is we have societal roles and expectations, and we need to continue defying those and reminding each other that There's no such thing as a norm. None of us are normal. We do have tendencies, we do have things that we lean towards. However, that does not define us. And we need to continue to remind ourselves and other people of that because I swear, we face them every single day. So that's really important. Okay, this next one I stole from a fortune cookie that is sitting on my desk because it is just such a good reminder. Time flies. Aim high. And I'm going to tie this in with my next one. If you're a creative person, you're going to feel delusional at times. Lean into it. I'm tying that into the aim high because, yes, you may think, like, can I make a full-time career out of being a video game player? Yes, you can. There are so many people on Twitch who do it every single day. That is their career. The question is, how bad do you want it? And are you going to like put in the work? Because it's a lot of work to have those goals. But the point is not how much work you put in or what you want. It's, can you aim really high? What are those things that make you feel delusional, unrealistic? They're things you're afraid to talk to other people about because they say negative things to you. They tell you you can't do that as a full-time career. It's just not possible. Well, you know what? There's people defying those statements every single day. And I want to be one of those people. And if you feel you want to be one of those people, let's be delusional together because it is possible. The fortune cookie is not lying to us, right, people? Okay, and tied into that, I have on my list, it's important to have a few trusted friends. Find your people. Thanks to the internet, we can go on Reddit, we can go on Facebook groups. There's so many other apps where we can connect with people over our shared hobbies and goals. It can feel so lonely at times when you don't have people to connect with, and a lot of them are currently online. So I do recommend, doing it safely, of course, but find those people who have those passions like you. And sometimes it's not even about connecting with other people. It may be through a book or a podcast or a movie even. Like I enjoy personally going on YouTube and watching interviews conducted by other people, asking them questions like, what motivated you to start doing this? What is your end goal? What are the steps that you set to get to where you are right now? And it may just be something like an anime that you like or a TV show. It can be anything, but really finding those trusted people is so important because we deserve to talk about the things that we're passionate about without feeling like we're cringe or that someone's going to sit here and badger us about how unrealistic it is, because it's not unrealistic. Remember those expectations that people tell us, they're defied every single day. Okay, my next one is a bit of a touchy subject, but career and jobs are frustrating. And this again falls into, when we sign up for a job, we are agreeing to live our lives in accordance with what they want. And in return, they're going to give us money. And while a lot of us grumble about our jobs, I have to say I am grateful that I can go to a job and get money and provide housing and clothing and food for my family that I take care of. On the flip side, it is frustrating to be at the whims of another person. To be told what to do is frustrating. And for me personally, that feeds into that, I said delusional, but really the desire to be a full-time creator. So for me, that's my goal. I do think it's important to find, there's nothing wrong with having a job, but finding something that we are passionate about. So for the last year, I've been working with those who are experiencing homelessness, and I love the job. It is one of my favorite jobs I've had. It is stressful, yes, but I love it. So if you're able to find something that really just makes you feel good and accomplished, like there's nothing wrong with that. But I also want to validate that it is frustrating to have other people telling us what to do. I think it just goes against our nature, especially if you're an independent person. Okay, and the last one I have on the list is that just continue to do things that scare you. as you get older and more confident in yourself, the shift of what scares you will be different. And I found so much relief in that because I used to feel really socially awkward and uncomfortable. And while I still get nervous when I'm in large groups or I have to talk to a lot of people, it has gotten easier and I'm so relieved. Now, that's not the case for everybody. Our comfort zones are all different, and, what we need to do is different. So, it is still scary sometimes, but it will get better. I promise that. And when you leave your comfort zone, there's so many benefits and you're able to do things you never thought you could do. So it is really a huge plus, depending on what's required of you. So that wraps up what I've learned in my 20s. There's so much more that I've learned, and I pretty much just focused on like the big life, goals, lessons, etc. that I feel have really impacted me in my 20s. And I feel like my 30s are going to bring a lot more self-reflection and self-confidence, and just kind of stepping into a new point in life. I feel like the 20s are really a time for just discovering yourself, discovering your limits, the limits that you can break through, meeting people who really matter, and just it's a really big transitional period, and I'm hoping that my 30s will be a little bit more stable and self-assured. So I hope, if you're in your 20s right now and you're frustrated, that's okay. That is how it is, okay? And I promise it just continues to improve from there. So don't feel like, if you don't have it all figured out, you're not supposed to, okay? Things are different in the sense that, people used to settle down and have kids at like 18 years old. Well, I've talked to those people now and I don't want to say they regretted it, but what the priorities are for our society have shifted, thankfully. And the 20s, your 20s are really a time for you to learn about yourself, what you're best at, and just to really lean into that. So yeah, I hope your 20s continue to get better for you. And if you're in your 30s, please give me some advice because I'm about to be there.